Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. So the Mortal Kombat community is in a really weird place right now, and it seems that we've had quite a few players speaking out about how bad the game is, how much they are tired of it, and that they're really disappointed in where the meta is going, or at the very least where the meta has been, because I'm not entirely sure it's changed too much. I say it's in a weird place because not too long ago, Ed Boon tweeted out saying that the game is selling very well. Last year we got a report that Mortal Kombat 1 had already sold 3 million copies. We're almost a year from that sales report, and based on the support being planned for this game, it might be safe to say that it has continued to meet or exceed sales expectations. I wouldn't be surprised if it had sold another 3 million copies since then, if not more. I don't think WB is going to fund a game that has reached its sales potential for the next couple of years, so it's safe to say that MK is not dead by any stretch of the imagination. It just is for the competitive scene. That's also reflected in the tournament numbers as well. Each major tournament has seen dwindling interest from the Mortal Kombat community, but then if I'm being completely honest and I'm being completely fair, it has always been that way. So why does it feel like this might actually be the final nail in the coffin for the competitive MK scene? Well, the reason that I'm not optimistic for Mortal Kombat 2 is because of Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 1 was clearly modeled after MK11, and it's no wonder considering it sold 15 million copies as of 2022. That's 2.5 years ago. Might be safe to say that number might be a bit higher by now. I don't think NRS, WB, or whoever becomes the home of Mortal Kombat in the future is going to particularly care about the cries of a small dwindling community when they're racking it in, and I mean that with respect. The MK community and the FGC in general are a very small fraction of a fighting game's overall community and overall drive in sales. And although Mortal Kombat seems to be the highest selling fighting game, it seems to have one of the smaller scenes. If the tournament numbers have already shrunk to record lows for the first year, it might be safe to assume that it could disappear completely from the tournament circuit before Mortal Kombat 2 comes out. We may still have Mortal Kombat's own dedicated tour, but not having it represented within the FGC as a whole could actually become a reality. Weird thing is that even though content creators such as myself or bigger ones have made video after video voicing our frustrations with the franchise, it only seems to get stronger. If you were asking me, I'd say brace yourselves. I don't think Mortal Kombat is going to return to what we once loved because the sales are dictating that what they're doing is working. Now please don't get me wrong, if you are enjoying MK, if you're happy with MK and you're happy with where things are going, by all means have a fantastic time. Don't let me rain on your parade. You shouldn't even let a voice on the internet upset you and bring you down. Sometimes you hear people saying they're so sick of people ripping on something or bringing something up, but if you're having a good time on something, it doesn't really matter what anybody else says. But for those of you that are frustrated with the game, I have pulled up these series of tweets to illustrate what I'm talking about here, and they'll allow me to go a bit further with my explanation on where I think Mortal Kombat is going and why I think some people should just give it up at this point. So it starts off with Just Nasty here saying, as much as I want to enjoy and love Mortal Kombat, this meta is arguably the worst meta to compete in. I truly don't see myself dealing with this for another 1 to 2 months, just constantly losing to horrible carried players. And you hear people saying carried players all the time, and sometimes it is them coping and it is a skill issue, but in the Mortal Kombat community you see this more often than anywhere else, and that's saying something considering I'm playing Tekken and we are dealing with Dragunov right now. You have LS Vision here saying, remember when I set Twitter on fire 2 weeks ago for saying this game's design is arse? Now I did actually see his tweets and I saw how Twitter did blow up at him. I actually retweeted him as well. I'm sure me and him are going to speak about Mortal Kombat at some point together, but I have seen this sentiment shared amongst the Mortal Kombat community with some of its larger creators. VY says, losing to so many people just doing whatever, it just feels like an actual party game. People messaging me on PSN and teabagging because they can finally win with Farah. This shit is mad annoying. Now the thing that I've noticed with Mortal Kombat is that with every update they give you a new character and a new cameo the month later, and that character and that cameo, one of them at the very least, tends to completely shift the way the game is being played. Now from what I've seen from tournament footage and what I've seen from people playing online on YouTube, it seems like Farah is absolutely dominating the game right now, and she seems to have turned some characters into absolute powerhouses, Scorpion for example. But there's been a lot of discussion despite her apparent nerf that she is just way too powerful. You've got Baylina here saying, another great player lost but people wanted to jump on me when I said it. There's no skill in playing Farah, and getting robbed from safe 50-50s is not fun or skillful. I'm not the best player, but it doesn't take a good one to know this is a very scurry pay to win. Now it's not unusual for characters that come out as DLC to be paid to win. We've seen this in Tekken before, we saw it in Tekken 7. Leroy and Fakaram were the biggest offenders of this, so much so that there was apparently a nerfed version of Leroy ready to go because they knew they made him too powerful and they were trying to shift units. So it wouldn't surprise me if Mortal Kombat was doing the exact same thing. Now I've seen Farah gameplay, and the fact that Farah can get mix-ups that lead into death and they're completely safe seems a bit absurd. I do know there's some counterplay to it. I have seen Ketchup and Mustard's videos and I have seen some other players talking about it, but it seems very, very lopsided. And you've got Xander here saying, yep, that's why I've been grinding Tekken, join me in Bando. You've got Black Margin here saying, some tweets ago you said this patch was going to save the game. Just Nasty replies saying, I may have spoken too soon. And then Sarah responds saying, once Farah gets nerfed, we will be healed. Now I said it on day one and I'm going to say it now. If you enjoyed Mortal Kombat 1 on day one, you're good. The game is pretty much what it was on day one. They've added new characters. There's new characters that are more powerful than others, but the game at its core is basically what it was on day one, and it was not really that different from Mortal Kombat 11. I've always said the more recent iterations of Mortal Kombat are like a peeled onion. What you get on day one is kind of what you get on day 100. But for you people, you're going to enjoy it till the end of the game. If you didn't like the systems in the games and the cameos, it's over for you. It's done. Saying that things are going to get better once they nerf a character or release a new patch is a bunch of cowabunga, and you know it. It has been the same talking point since day one. Nerf this and we're okay. Nerf that and we're okay. My friends, NRS does not understand the first thing about applying correct nerfs and buffs to characters. How many times have we seen this happening? They're good at making very wacky things that follow no line of logic. They're good at throwing caution to the wind, designing a character like a deer in headlights, going completely balls to the wall. Just look at Mortal Kombat 10. The general consensus with that game is that it was very broken, but it was insanely fun. Mortal Kombat 1 is a game that they try their best to balance but continuously miss. Now they may nerf Farah, but the problem will just be transferred to someone else. It always is, and the community will likely call for more nerfs, and NRS in their infinite wisdom will attempt it and cause more problems. If you don't believe me, just look at Cyrax. The problem with Cyrax was moved over to Striker. Then there's a problem with the characters, Homelander and Peacemaker. Every single time they nerf people, the problem just gets transferred. It's not a proper balancing, it is a band-aid on a problem, and because they put a band-aid on it, the dam needs to burst somewhere else. And so another hole pops up and then they put a band-aid on that. It's not real fixes and the game is not going to change. Now again, if you're enjoying it, I'm not putting you down. Please have a gay old time. I don't care. I'm talking to the people that have had frustrations with this game. Whatever you're holding onto, it is not going to change. I can bet you every single thing in my bank account. If you didn't like the game before, you're not going to like it now. The very core of the game has remained the same since day one and it won't change. I'll reiterate that as many times as I need to. No matter how much you guys ask for 2v2, it's not coming to this game. If you keep asking for it, you might get it in the next game, but you know damn well Boone and company are not going to turn this cameo system into a 2v2 system. It's just not going to happen. Why change something if it's working? You're probably looking at the screen going, but it's not working. But it is working. Look at the sales of this game. Look at the supposed support they're going to give this game. It is clearly working. This has now become a casual party game. Please never mistake my videos bashing Mortal Kombat 1 as me saying the game is failing. Mortal Kombat 1 is succeeding, and that is why if you weren't happy before, just tap out. Spend your time playing something you enjoy. There will be other Mortal Kombat games in the future. And look, there's a guy that's just dropped a trailer for Mortal Kombat Deception, Ultimate Mortal Kombat Deception, and it looks absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. I will put the link in the description below. It is my hope that Mortal Kombat returns to 3D, but I know that's just a pipe dream because the 3D games apparently almost killed the franchise. And the current iterations of the Mortal Kombat games, the 2D versions, have NRS riding a rainbow of cash. Ed Boon isn't going to turn around and be like, man, I'm tired of all this money that we're getting for very low effort. Let me take a risk. It's over, guys. It's done. It will likely continue to anger you with the release of more characters. Apparently, there's no cameos coming out for year 2, which has led people to believe that they may actually be able to balance the ones we have now, but I don't think so. I think the problem will again transfer to someone else. Something else will break. It's inevitable, it is proven, it is undeniable at this point. Baylina and other players talk about how they feel robbed by players that are not on their skill level, and whilst you could say skill issue to this, if we are looking at it through the lens of a party game, well, party games are known for robbing players because they're not serious games. That's not to say robbery doesn't exist in legit fighting games. Bison and Dragunov exist, but that's usually down to a character balancing problem. MK's issue is deep rooted in its systems. We've spoken about it before. No clear visual indicators for throw Tekken universally, which means it's a guessing game. That is something usually found in party games. A lack of a fireball war. Fireballs just pass through each other. That is something that is universal amongst all competitive fighting games. MK is the only one that is lacking. Absolutely everything does chip damage. Bit of a weird feature. A lot of people don't like it. I certainly don't. Easy and spammable staggers. Just look at Johnny Cage. If you think that shit is fair, I don't know what to tell you. The very core of the game is not designed to be played with an intelligent thought, so just enjoy it for what it is, or meet me on Namek. And when I say meet me on Namek, I'm saying jump on Sparking Zero, guys. Cut your losses and keep it moving. I can guarantee you're going to find a lot more consistency in Sparking Zero than you will Mortal Kombat. Now, not to turn this into a Sparking Zero video, but tournament organizers, please pay attention. I can guarantee you tournament entries for this game will be booming, unlike Mortal Kombat, which you seem to be propping up continuously. I don't know why. The competitive scene doesn't even show up. I don't care what you think about arena fighters. You'll be wrong on this one, but you've got a business to run. So throw the tournament scene of Sparking Zero a bone, because there will be one, and welcome them with open arms to the FGC. That's my advice to you. Just trust me, it's going to be a good time. As I've said before, it is my hope that Mortal Kombat finds its way back to being a game that is fun for everybody and not just a silly party game. But for all of the players that are talking about it on Twitter, hoping that it is going to fix itself at some point and it's going to be balanced and fair and fun, it's not going to happen, guys. I'm telling you now, you can quote me on this, I'm saying it in 4K. It is not going to happen. So either enjoy the product that you've got now, look forward to more characters going into a system that will remain broken and annoying, look forward to enjoying the cameo system for the next couple of years if what Ed Boon is saying is to be believed, and then we'll see with Mortal Kombat 2. But again, based on the sales of Mortal Kombat 11, which is what MK1 was clearly designed after, I would not hold my breath. I can anticipate MK2 being very similar to MK1, because why put in a lot of effort into redesigning the entire game when you are making money at stupid levels to then just go and risk it? Just look at FIFA and COD. They don't really take many risks and they make a lot of money. I doubt the investment of a game like FIFA or COD is going to be as high as a game like Tekken or Street Fighter, where they reinvent the wheel and they refine their battle mechanics. I doubt it. That's why they're able to churn out games every year, and we get a lot more Mortal Kombat games than we do anything else. There's usually a big gap in between Street Fighter and Tekken. Mortal Kombat games, or rather NRS games, you get them every 2 to 3 years. Anyways, guys, that's my video for today. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. My thoughts and prayers go out to the MK community, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Take care and peace.